Hello, welcome to the best years for my YouTube channel, starting this year and going until I reach year 65. So, as you all know, um, I talk a lot about movies, and I talk about which movies I'm going to go see in theaters. But here's the thing: I want to talk about a completely different subject in regards to movie, because every movie that's ever come out from the black and white days, whether that be whether it be a Psycho or whatever, or any Alfred Hitchcock movie or anything even before that. Look, every movie either is a prequel, it's a sequel, it's a requel, it's whatever you want it to be. Now, I've seen thousands, if not tens of thousands of movies in my lifetime, from the day I was born up until my 36th birthday. And I rewatch a lot of movies. But here's what I'm going to say is that each movie has its upsides and its downsides. I can give you examples of movies like that, where the original movies were better than the newer versions, or the newer versions are better than the originals. Um, for example, the Star Wars films. There are some Star Wars prequels and sequels and whatever you want to call it that are better than the other ones. And the same thing could be said about the Jurassic World films or the 28 years, or not 20 years, 28 days later, or weeks later, or 28 years later, which is opening up this weekend. Or say, for example, the Megan film. I know there's only two that are been released so far, or the Saw films. I mean, they should have probably stopped at a certain point because not every single Saw film is good or great or anything of that nature. Um, Same thing could be said about a lot of films. Each Harry Potter film is different and good in its own rights. Same thing with Lord of the Rings. Each of the three films have been great. Even the Hobbit films have been great. Um, there are certain films that have all of the movies are great or a good, or you know somewhere in between good and great. And there's other films or films franchises that may not be as great or may be terrible. Like an example, like I gave you, was the Star Wars ones. And some of the Fast and Furious films are good or great. Others are not as good as they're great. Um, and it's not just those movies. It could be standalone films that only have one film attached to it. Um, some individuals may like the Hunger Games films, but they may not like the prequel films that they've released. Um, like the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, or the new Sunrise of the Reaping, or whatever you want to classify it as. Like, and it's not just those films. I mean, Divergent. You could talk about the Divergent series. You could talk about the what other series are out there that I'm probably forgetting about. The Indiana Jones movies. Some of them are better than others. Um, they made sequels to Poltergeist, which the original Poltergeist was the best one, even though the graphics weren't as good as they could have been. But that was filmed in the 1980s. The 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 that kind of stuff, it may not work in most movies, or may not work in just that one. Like, you got Super 8, another movie by Steven Spielberg. You got Jaws. There are certain Jaws films that are better than other Jaws films. That's just to name a few. And there are probably other movies and other TV shows that I'm probably forgetting about that could be added to that list of sequels that are good or bad, just to give you guys kind of like an update. Anyways, I will see you all tomorrow with a brand new vlog, and there's a new vlog. There will be a new vlog every single day for the next 52 plus years. And bye bye.